Was this no Antarctic players? Unfortunately not. No, we couldn't get anybody from there. We'll try for next time maybe. Waiting on one more player. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the United Nations tournament, the Boyz versus Freethinkers, going live here on round number 1 or chapter number 1 of the Undead Zone custom map. The United Nations tournament is underway. Good luck, have fun coming out from caution there, the OCE player. Francis is the first person to move out there. They're running a 50-50 actually. They have 2 shotguns and 2 Uzis as they move out to the right here, anticipating an attack that has not yet been executed. Nick being the first person to jump onto the little truck there. Nothing to speak of just yet, though, as the survivors are continuing their patient gameplay. The custom map part really going to be playing a key role here, I do think. That's something to take into mind here. And as we do see as well, there is that charge-spit combination I mentioned earlier. Ready and waiting on the high ground that I was talking about as well. There is a high ground advantage to this special infected here. Not looking to go in just yet, and in they move. Smoke from behind. Charger is unable to connect though. Jockey and Spit try to make something happen, and there was a smoke in the back as well. The damage is fairly evenly spread, and it's not that bad, to be honest with you. All things considered, especially considering the Charger did not land, that's not the worst damage in the world for the Boyz. However, Freethinkers continuing their progress. They have a Hunter, Boomer, Charger, and a Jockey to deal with. So they have a tri-cap with the Boomer. And again, we are seeing that common theme of high ground to both the left and right of the survivors. You know, there is a high ground advantage for the special infected. Hunter is spawned up as well as the Jockey from behind. Hunter is skeeted, Jockey is going to land temporarily. Charger moves in, gets a scratch charge actually onto the boomed survivor, so that's going to be a little bit more damage, and overall not the worst result again in the world for the Boyz. So they have taken a fair bit of damage, but not enough to worry about, let's say, at least for now. Smoker, Hunter, and a Jockey with a Spitter. Hunter is spawned up, Jockey as well. Everybody is going to be moving in. There's an 8 damage pounce followed by Spit and a smoke onto Bill as well. So again, the damage is piling up here. Nothing too devastating, but by the same token, it is starting to notice. So far, only a Spitter, of which is actually accompanied with a Boomer, which we are moving into closed quarters now, so that could work in their favor with the special infected, and they do have a Charger and Jockey as well with that Boomer Spitter combination. Charger is spawned up. He's just going to be making some noise though. Boomer tries to get the boom from behind, gets onto one survivor, however Charger is unsuccessful. Jockey is going to be moving in for the survivors, lands onto Francis, and there's a stumble into the Spit as well. My goodness, yes, that is a lot of damage again. Tank is going to be spawning for the special infected. But overall, the damage is definitely starting to notice more and more as time goes on, so they need to be careful of this. That being Freethinkers. Charger, Hunter, and a Smoker in the hands of the special infected. Survivors continuing to make their way back as the tank slowly but surely trails behind them. Charger and Hunter both spawning up. Charger moves in, tries the interception. Hunter is going to do the same thing, but again is skeeted in 8 shots by the Uzi there. That's going to end the life of the Smoker and the Charger as well. Tank on the high. Just maintaining a little bit of a line of sight here on pass number 1. 20%, which is declining a little bit further now. They are doing a good job breaking line of sight here. Tank on pass number 2, 85%. Boomer, Jockey, and a Charger is his supporting setup as well. And the Boomer does choose to move in before the tank, getting onto one survivor, so that could be enough. Yes, it is indeed enough. They have decided. Tank's moving in for the survivors, looking for that first punch. Ends up landing it onto Lewis, followed by Zoe, spreading the damage all across the board here. And there's separation as well from the punch. That's going to be an unsuccessful charger, apart from several scratches, actually. That does allow a rock to land as well. Hunter is moving in for Bill, which the tank is going to try to intercept here. He cannot land the rock, though, in the end. And, well, clutch gameplay, really, from both teams overall. The tank did pretty well, but so did the survivors. So, all in all, not really the worst result. Especially for the boys, though. Definitely a good result for them. But it's now up to them to essentially eliminate the remainder of the health bonus. And they have the remainder of this map to do so as well. So let's just see if that does end up being enough. Boomer and a Spitter with a Jockey and Smoker. Jockey and Smoker from behind. They do block line of sight from the Smoker, though, very nicely done. And they shut down the Boomer mid-air. Very well played by the survivors there. That's the kind of shutdowns that they more so need in this particular situation. And they have just reached 36% of the map, so they do need to pull out some more clears like that, really, if they wanted a chance at making it to the safe room here. Jockey, Charger, and a Hunter is the tri-cap with the Spitter. Hunter just pouncing around a little bit just to create some noise. Hunter is going to pounce in first. One shot skeeted, though. And the Charger moves in as well, but is chip leveled there after taking several bits of damage, and that is going to conclude the special infected attack. Again, with a pretty good result coming out of the Freethinkers here. Because they absolutely do want to maintain that health bonus, that being Bill and Zoe. Boomer, Hunter, Smoker, and a Jockey. Tri-cap without the Charger and without the Spitter. Smoker from in front. There is actually a shutdown on the Hunter in the tunnel there. Very well played by the survivors. They shut down everything other than the Boomer, which does get a two-person boom. So that will slow them down a little bit. But all in all, the clears have definitely gone to the standard they need to be at right now. Still maintaining that slither of a health bonus on Bill and Zoe, which of course would be anybody's priority in this particular case. That's going to be a Jockey spawning up with the Charger. That's going to be a very, very nice tri-cap, actually, with a stumble onto Bill. That's going to be, well, I mean, the clears unfortunately couldn't be there for this. That's 3 people in caps, there's 1 person remaining. It's a very, very quick revival, but it's denied, actually, by the Jockey for a little bit. Eventually, Francis will be revived here, but all in all, that's a pretty good result for the Special Infected. Very clutch gameplay coming out of all these players here, really. Boomer is going to be moving in, getting a boom onto 2 survivors to kick things off here. That's going to be a Charger, Hunter, and Smoker to support him. Or to attack after him, let's say. Charger moves in first. That's going to be a connection onto both Bill and Zoe, actually. Or no, Lewis and Zoe, excuse me. Going to be Smoker moving in temporarily. All of their health bonus, though, is essentially eliminated now. They have no health bonus, so all they can really rely on at this moment is distance points. That is their best friend right now. And that Spitter is going to be delaying the survivors for a little bit just outside the safe room. Jockey is moving in from behind as quick as he possibly can. Is shut down before anything can happen, though, as is the Boomer. Charger moving in last but not least, and will be meeting his demise there. And in the survivors move. As I say, achieving no health bonus because it was all eliminated, and distance points essentially is the only thing they have managed to achieve. Which is absolutely better than nothing. You cannot deny it. And now it is time for the boys to shine on chapter number 1 of the Undead Zone here. As we will be going live quite quickly. Same setup as always, going to be the Jockey, Charger, and Smoker with the Spitter. From what I can see as well, it does look like the Boyz are going to be doing a 50-50, much like the predecessors. There's going to be 2 shotguns and 2 Uzis. Spawn's moving in now, Smoker first, Charger second. Charger's going to connect with the door frame, unfortunately, and Jockey and Smoker try to make something happen with the Spit, but neither of them can do really too much. Some scratches in the back onto Lewis there from the Smoker will conclude the attack. Survivor's now going to be moving underneath the bridge here. They haven't really taken too much damage, all things considered, but let's just see how that continues to work for them. That's going to be a Charger, Hunter, and a Jockey, with a Boomer on top, trying to land the boom, but he can't, unfortunately, make it there. That's going to be the Hunter ready and waiting. Going to be bouncing outside of the room there, onto the truck, followed by his death there. Charger and a Jockey is what we have to speak of right now, as well as a Spitter, so this final spawn will determine what the setup will be. Charger, Spitter, Jockey, and a Smoker, so it ends up being a tri-cap with that Spitter. Smoker spawning up on the low ground there. Charger moving in, trying to connect after the Smoker, unable to do so. Spit is not able to connect either. Still very good damage, I have to say. Definitely good damage. But it wasn't what they were hoping for. They were definitely hoping for that Charger to end up landing with the Spitter. Spitter, Boomer, Hunter, and a Jockey, so it's reverted now to a 2-2. However, the Spitter does get caught out and is going to be eliminated before the 3 others can attack. Doesn't take many headshots, really, to kill a Spitter. That is going to be a boom onto 1 survivor from the rooftop above them. Jockey and a Hunter, followed by, in 1 second, a Smoker. Tank is approaching as well, slowly but surely. Survivors are at 43%, and the tank spawns around about 60%. So sooner or later, the tank is going to end up spawning here, which the Special Infected will be aware of. They have a quad cap as well. Perhaps they can land it before. However, the Charger is already shut down, though. That's going to be a Hunter temporarily landing, as well as the Smoker, which is going to spread the damage across the board a little bit. However, nothing too much to worry about, especially considering what quad caps can do. They can literally end your life in that moment, so always a good idea to focus fire down the Charger, as they did in that situation. Sloppy going to be playing the first tank for the Freethinkers. Boom onto 1 survivor from behind the corner there. Onto Francis. Charger moves in, tries to get some delay, ends up going onto Bill, and that does slow Bill down enough for the Rock to travel after him. However, they do skeet it. They are aware of its presence. Survivors, as I say, they've taken a fair bit of damage, but it's, you know, considering the ping and considering the map, it's not that bad, really. Jockey moves in first and foremost, going to be looking to just simply get rid of the spawn. He doesn't really want a Jockey in this particular tank fight. Boom onto 1 survivor from the truck there. That could be enough for the tank to commit, which when he's on pass number 2, so he might really have to. Smoker and a Charger will be the supporting setup, and skeeted so effortlessly by the survivors as they continue to cover ground here. Tank on 88 HP on pass number 2. He really can't do very much here. He is going to be losing that life pretty soon. Hunter, Charger, and a Smoker. Smoker from behind, Charger from behind as well. Charger ends up getting a double charge, actually, but the tank is a bit too far away to make much happen. Can't land the Rock either, and will eventually be falling to his demise. That will be the end of the tank fight for the Freethinkers. The Boyz still have a little bit more of the map to get through, but they're looking so far in fairly good shape. That, of course, can all change, though, because it did actually change for the Freethinkers. They had a health bonus near the safe room, and it was eliminated, so let's just see if the same thing does occur. Boomer Spitter with the Jockey and Smoker. Jockey moves in first and foremost. He is dead stops. That's going to be Smoker from behind, also shut down very quickly. Boomer onto one survivor. However, that is all she wrote. Survivors have plenty of ground to cover here. They're at 73% of the map, so they haven't got too many more attacks to endure before they make it into the safe room. So if they keep up this level of gameplay, they could be looking at a pretty good health bonus as well. Jockey, Hunter, and a Charger is the tri-cap. Hunter is moving in, pouncing around, looking for something. He's going to be distracting for the Charger, which moves in, ends up connecting onto Zoe, followed by the Spit. That's going to be... Unfortunately, the Spit is kind of like a little bit missed, actually. They still make a lot happen with it, but I don't think that really was enough that they would have really wanted. Especially considering how close the safe room is as well. They don't have many more options. Survivors might even make it into the safe room before any attack, and they do indeed do so. So very well played to the boys for this particular chapter, achieving themselves 764 points going into chapter number 2. Definitely being a slight show of dominance there from the boys as they do take the lead, leading into chapter number 2. It appears I am having a loading issue. But yes, hopefully everybody is having a wonderful time. I'm, of course, always having a wonderful time if I am commentating Left 4 Dead 2, one of my favourite things. Apologies for the silence, I'm just waiting for my game to properly load in here. And we are in, there we are. So, chapter number 2 of the Undead Zone. A custom map here in this United Nations tournament, which, there definitely is a united bunch of nations, considering the fact that we have NA, SA, OCE. I mean, we have everywhere in this game. Everybody's taking part. Just waiting on a few players from the boys to ready up, and we shall be going live here. I think of it, I'm fairly certain that Sue is from United Kingdom, like myself. Unless I am mistaken, but I do believe he is. Looking like we are ready to go live after one person readies up. And as we can see, this is definitely an indoor-themed map for the beginning, and it's going to be immediately followed by quite an open area, which I assume this Special Invective will attack at, but we shall see. Going to be a Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey as the tri-cap with the Spitter to complete it. Going to be running that 50-50 again across the weapons, 2 Uzis and 2 shotguns. Seems to be the favourable division of the weapons here. I still remember when you could have hunting rifle in those days. That was those were interesting times. Bill just looking to clear some common infected before the survivors move out here. Jockey moves in first for Bill. Gets dead stop though. That's going to be a Charger and Hunter both landing in the inside. That's going to be 2 people getting up in the Spit as well. That's definitely a good result. for the Freethinkers there. It didn't look like it did too much, but I mean, all things considered, that is not the worst damage in the world. That's definitely something you can build on. And sometimes it's more about the pressure, more so than just one devastating attack. It's more across the period of several devastating attacks. So, Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter Tricap with the Boomer. Lots of high ground advantage again for the Special Infected. Hunter is pouncing around, well, he's just kind of crouching around, excuse me. Charger spawns up on the low ground, can't make the connection. Boomer from behind the tree onto 2 survivors. Separation smoke onto Bill, so that's going to be 3 survivors boomed in total. Smoker looking to get some scratches there, but he's unable to do so. That was a 5-shot skeet as well from Discreet's Uzi. Definitely putting that division of weaponry to good use is the survivor side. Hunter, Jockey, Boomer, and a Spitter. So it ends up being a 2-2 for the Special Infected here. Hunter from behind onto Zoe, followed by the Boom and Spit. That's going to be a stumble onto Zoe in the Spit for the time being. And that's going to be some, again, fairly evenly spread damage. Nothing too much to write home about, but we do have a tank spawning up for the Freethinkers. That's going to be Rest. Survivors making their way back here. They have 4 seconds to do so in terms of the death timers. Tank is looking to try to connect some rocks here. He's going to be moving in for the survivors immediately. Misses the first punch, and he's looking for that first punch here. Unable to land anything just yet. Survivors are in a good position here. That's going to be a Hunter landing, potentially. He's looking to intercept the Smoker. The Charger is shut down. Hunter is going to land onto Zoe. That's going to be 1 in-cap from the tank. But again, 1 in-cap is the total they have achieved. Tank looks to retreat here. He might not be able to do so, though. He's taking several bits of damage. He ends up retreating in the end on pass number 1. Rock is skeeted so nicely by Bill there. Bill in particular. Bill being controlled by Sue. That was very well played by him to skeet that rock there.
I'll try this shotgun.
Tank continuing to play long, but he has to hide himself completely. If he shows himself even a little, he can get chipped all the way down on only 110 HP. Charger, Boomer, and a Jockey. Charger is moving in, unable to make anything happen. Neither is the tank, unfortunately. And again, he can't show himself, because if he does, he will be chipped down. Looking to land a punch here. He gets a double punch before he ends up dying. That's incredible. That's a really good result for the tank, actually. That made it a little bit more worth it. That was a very, very, very good consolation double punch. No idea how he managed that, but there we have it. Hunter, Spitter, and a Smoker in the hands of the Special Infected. Survivors now have a drop-down choke points to contend with. Hunter is spawned up in front, going to be pouncing after Bill, followed by the Spit and the Smoker. However, the Spit is a little bit disconnected. Smoker is getting some scratches. That's a 1-person boom as well, but that's all she wrote for the Special Infected. Survivors now have some more grounds to cover here. Currently at 50% of the map. Thus far, we have a Charger in the hands of the Special Infected. That's going to be accompanied with a Jockey and a Hunter, and the Boomer. Again, more high ground advantage for the Special Infected. Charger moving in. Unfortunately, Hunter and Charger go for the same target, though. That's going to be a Jockey onto Lewis, and that's a fairly good Jockey as well. That's going to be 2 people reduced down to temporary HP, and 2 people on permanent. That's going to be an alarm car triggered, but it's not going to matter really because they were boomed anyway, so there already was a horde. Survivor's just going to be camping out here as the horde continues. Going to be a Hunter, Boomer, Spitter, and a Smoker for this indoor attack here. However, Boomer is shut down. Smoker and Hunter both trying to land. Hunter does land, but the Spit is a little early, and therefore it can't go after the Hunter. Smoker looks for some consolation scratches there and ends up losing his life before he can get any. charger and a spitter so far in the hands of the special infected, followed by a jockey, and 1 more second will determine the completion, which is a boomer. So they have a 2-2 here with the jockey charger and the spitter boomer. Definitely an interesting attack to see because of all this high ground advantage again. Jockey and Charger both moving in. Charger is unable to make the connection, neither is the Jockey. That is going to be the end of the life of the Spitter. They do have enough pain pills to make sure that they don't slow down as well. Survivor's in pretty good health here overall. They have 1 more set of pain pills, which is probably going to be consumed by Bill, aka Sue, in a little bit here. Boomer from behind the truck, outside the Survivors, getting a boom onto 1. Smoker tongue is actually cut by Caution there. Very well played by him to cut that tongue. Boomer looks to try to get some stumbles there, or just some proxy booms. Isn't able to do so though. Now we're just going to have to see if it's accompanied with a spitter or a charger. They're obviously going to be hoping for that charger, because that is indeed the quad cap that they are hoping for, which they are moving in. Hunter is going to land a 5 damage pounce, but the synchronization isn't really there from the Freethinkers right now. Charger moves in for the Survivors, but he meets his demise very quickly. Survivors not here to mess around at all. They are definitely here to play. Going to be opening this lid here, followed by running towards the arrows that point towards the safe room. 93% of the map traversed. Boomer onto 2 Survivors. That's a good start for the special infected. Hunter, Jockey, and a Spitter. That's going to be a very good Jockey actually onto Zoe, and interception from the Spitter is good. It's good enough to potentially allow the in-cap, plus the interception from the Hunter as well. That could even be a death. Yeah, they do actually have to run out for him. So that's even more health bonus reduced from their team. And they're just outside the safe room as well, really, when you think about it. 90% of the map. Charger from behind the corner, looks for the scratch charge, only gets a scratch though. He's looking to eliminate the health bonus onto Francis, because that's the best he can do, as they do make it into the safe room in the end. $1,444 points in the hands of the Boyz in the Favela. Which I must say, the more I say that name, the more awesome it sounds. The Boyz in the Favela. Sounds pretty good. Let's just see what the Freethinkers have to offer here, though, on the Survivor round. It is now their time to essentially try to make it to the safe room with a health bonus. That is what they want. That is, of course, what they're going to be wanting here, in the most ideal situation. Definitely easier said than done, though, especially against competition such as the Boyz. That's definitely a difficult task, so... Both teams obviously containing pretty good players, and, well, as we say, with the Boyz in particular, just a diverse region of regions. This time a very shotgun-heavy setup is going to be coming out of the Freethinkers here. 3 people on shotgun, 1 person on Uzi. Hunter is crouching around above the Survivors, just creating some noise here. Just pouncing around, just creating that noise, which is making them feel uneasy, and that's sometimes the best thing to do, really. Because that can mess with the focus. That's going to be a Jockey moving in. Spit charge combination is successful, and the body blocks from the Spitter will also be successful, so very, very good damage onto Bill there. AKA Sloppy, so very unfortunate for him. The death timers are reasonably synchronized as well, so they will be getting their next attack, the Boyz, at the same time, which will be a Jockey Charger Smoker and a Boomer. Smoker from behind is just looking to spawn up and create some noise for the time being to slow the survivors down a bit. Jockey moves in as well. Smoker from behind. That's going to be a double charge with a knock there. That's going to be a dual cap as well from the Smoker and the Jockey. Again, very good damage. Smoker moves in for some consolation scratches, and that will conclude the attack here. "10 seconds on the death timers in total. So far we have a Hunter and a Spitter. 30% of the map traversed here, as the survivors transition from outdoors to indoors for the time being. They do have a Charger Hunter with the Boomer and Spitter to deal with. There's a boom onto one survivor to start things off, although it doesn't appear anything is going to be started here. Then again, nope, it is indeed going to be started. However, the Hunt-Spit combination is not quite successful. Even without its success, though, the Boomer as well also really helps. And all in all, they have taken a fair bit of damage, and the tank is, of course, also going to be spawning up for the Boyz here. They're going to be in the hands of Discreet. Jockey, Smoker, and a Boomer. Let's see what the Discreet tank can bring to the table here for the Boyz. Smoker looking for the distraction as well as the Jockey. Nice rock skeets coming out of Sloppy, though. That's going to be the Jockey and Smoker both shut down. Rocks are just being very effortlessly dealt with by the Freethinkers thus far. Tank hasn't taken any damage so far, just about takes the first bit of damage. That's a boom onto one survivor as well. Could be enough for the tank to commit here when his next two spawns are up. He is going to be committing indeed with it. Looking for that first punch. Misses the first punch, unfortunately. He's looking for that punch onto Lewis, which he does indeed get with the help of the Common Infected. That's going to be Lewis nearly in-capped. Charger moving in for Bill there. Gets a stumble onto him, however the tank is moving for Francis. Going to be spreading the damage across the board before he eventually loses his life here. Going to be trying to land this rock onto Lewis. Very nicely done by Discreet. And, well, I mean, he did get himself killed, but he did do enough before he got killed. So, all in all, not a bad tank at all by Discreet. However, survivors have managed to kill the tank and now have a health bonus to speak of, so if they make it to the safe room with this health bonus, they could be looking to close this gap a little bit. Boomer and the Spitter with the Hunter and Smoker. Hunter moves in first, but he's so effortlessly skeeted by the survivors. Boomer is also shut down, Smoker is shut down, there's really nothing to speak of whatsoever. Survivors with all the time in the world here to traverse. 8 seconds on the death timer, which is fairly synchronized, but they are going to have to wait for it. Survivors are able to get past this drop-down choke point before anything precarious happens. Jockey, Charger, and a Hunter is the tri-cap with the Spitter. Which it does look like they are going to be waiting for the upcoming choke point, which is going to be an outdoor choke point with plenty of separation potential, so it's more than understandable why they want to go there. They, of course, are going to be focusing Zoe in particular here because she does contain, she does retain the large majority of the health bonus. Charger from behind is moving in for Zoe. That's going to be a charge spit combination onto Zoe, and that's exactly what they want here. Yeah, her health is gone. She is no longer health bonus whatsoever. Very good result from the Boyz there to get that charge spit combination.
But you're not missing anything important. Come on, get up. Let's get moving.
Thanks, Bill.
That does, unfortunately for them, make Zoe slow as well. So Zoe and Lewis, and Bill actually, are all slow. Boom onto 2 survivors by proxy. It's going to be a good result for the Special Infected. In they move. Hunter, Jockey, and Charger all trying to land at the same time. That's a very, very good dual cap. So much damage across the board, and they can't do anything about it because they're so surrounded by those Common Infected. No health bonus to speak of whatsoever in the hands of the survivors here.
Can you make it?
Well, I
Smoker can actually delay this get-up animation here, which he does indeed do so with the scratches. Survivor's not looking in a good shape whatsoever. They do actually have one person black and white as well, that being Francis. Boomer Charger Spitter, and in 1 second, a Hunter Charger moves in, gets the scratch charge onto Bill. No spit to follow. At least for now, he is in the spit for long enough, though, to be in caps regardless. So that's going to be another in cap, and another person black and white as well. So that is Bill and Francis, both black and white, which means if they go down again, they don't go down, they die. 60% of the map has been traversed here. Survivors looking a little bit separated. Smoker from behind and Charger. They're both going to be landing as well as the Jockey, so it is a tri-cap. A very good one. However, the Boomer Stumble frees Francis there. Well played to get that free. However, I mean, it's looking like everybody -1 is going to be black and white here. So definitely not favorable to be the Survivors right now. All they have to think about is distance points. They cannot really get any health bonus here. Nor do they really have a high chance of making it, all things considered, because with any charge spit combination, which, you know, they have that charge spit, onto any of the guys who are black and white, they're dead. Hunter moves in first, nicely shut down though. That's going to be a charge, but as I say, there, with the Charger, that's going to be eliminating Francis. Boomer is unable to make anything happen there. However, Survivors are reduced down to 3 players now, and, well, that's only really going to continue, because 2 more of them are black and white, so... Jockey and a Smoker with a Hunter, followed by a Charger. It is, I mean, it's a quad cap. Not that they really need a quad cap here, but that's definitely overkill, but it's, of course, very appreciated at the same time. They, of course, want to make sure that they eliminate the Survivors here, because they don't want to give them any unnecessary distance points. Smoker spawns up first and foremost. Hunter is also spawned up, just growling at the Survivors, making them feel uneasy. Jockey and Hunter all moving in with the Charger. That's going to be the death of Bill. Smoker moves in with the Charger. Charger looking for that in-cap, gets the in-cap onto Lewis. However, that's going to be his revival pretty quickly. Both of them black and white now, so they're just a duo playing a 2v4 here. And both of them being black and white, as I say, so, you know, again, distance points are their best friend. Spit moving in first, going to be, of course, eliminating Zoe because she's in the middle of it. That's going to be Hunter moving in to seal the deal, which he does indeed do so. Moving into chapter number 3 here with 1,444 points in the hands of the Boyz in the Favela versus 827 points in the hands of the Freethinkers. Not quite convincing enough to say that they've won just yet, because of course we have more chapters to undergo. But so far, it is looking like a slightly more dominant performance from the Boyz. Of course, that can change at any point. But for the time being, the Boyz are definitely showing up to be the slightly stronger side here, at least for the time being. Not, of course, to say that the Freethinkers are playing particularly badly. But it is, I would say, a little bit more noticeable in terms of the Boyz being a little bit more switched on. The main difference is, of course, being that that the Boyz do actually make it to the safe room with a health bonus as well, which they have done so twice already, which is the reason for their lead here. That's a good point, actually. Checking if these guys will be playing Finale or not. It is entirely up to them, so they're passing the decision over to the enemy team, which is going to be the Freethinkers, so just have to see what they end up deciding. We are live anyway in chapter number 3. Tank going to be spawning at around about 54% of the map. Charger, Smoker, and a Jockey is the tri-cap with the Spitter. Jockey moves in first, can't get the connection, neither can the Charger, and well, the Spitter can't really make much happen here as a result. Very good clears from the boys. Smoker being the last person to die there for the Special Infected, which is going to stagger their death timers a little bit more. Hunter, Boomer, and a Jockey, and in 2 seconds that delayed spawn timer is going to be a Charger.
Behind you! Lock it off! Reloading!
What campaign is this? This is the Undead Zone. It is a custom campaign. Boomer from below, getting a boom onto one survivor to kick things off. Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey will be the tri-cap here. Let's see what they can make happen with it. They might be looking to wait, actually, and see if they can get a quad cap here. Potentially. It's either going to be a Spitter or it's going to be a Smoker here. Ends up being a Spitter, though, so it's not the quad cap. Hunter, Charger, Jockey, tri-cap could be devastating, though, especially again with the high ground advantage that these survivors will have to be facing here, that the Special Infected have. Plenty of common infected ahead, but these survivors are not too worried about that because they're not really around that area just yet. Zoe and Bill clearing the first bit of common infected before the survivors move further forward. Hunter moves in, lands a connection, followed by the Charger, tries to get an interception, can't quite do so, but that Hunter is still landed to this day, and that was actually nearly an in-cap, plus several bits of damage onto Zoe as well. My goodness, the boys took an absolute punishment there, and that is not a good result for them whatsoever. However, if you're the Freethinkers, you're thinking that's a very good result. Smoker and a Boomer with a Charger and Hunter, so it ends up being a tri-cap with the Boomer. Let's just see how this attack ends up unfolding for the Freethinkers. If there's anything like last attack, that would be very good for them. Nothing spawned up just yet. There's going to be a Smoker spawning up, followed by the Hunter and Charger. Charger can't land anything, though. That's going to be all three of the Special Infected there onto Francis, of whom took a fair bit of damage there. And that will conclude the attack after the Boomer moves in for a proxy. Can't get the proxy onto anybody else, so it's still a one-person boom. Tank will be spawning up here for the Freethinkers. They have to be very quick about moving back here, though, because the tank is not too far away from them, really. Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey in the hands of the Special Infected here. Let's see what they end up pulling off with it. Tank is moving in a hittable truck in the distance here, so let's just see what he can make happen with it. If he can actually move it in. He actually gets a decent hit on it there, so he could actually move in with this truck. Charger and Hunter both for the same target, can't quite land. That's going to be a Jockey landing onto Lewis after the Hunter. Tank is still moving the car in, and it's still working for him, really. But of course, he's moving on to pass number 2, though, so it's just whether or not he can get it in. He should manage, though. Which he is indeed going to be moving the hittable car in. Survivors are going to not really want to take their chances here. Tank definitely wants to take his chance with the car, though. He really wants that in play. Will it get caught here, though? It's looking like it's actually kind of stuck between the wall and the truck. Oh dear, the tank is in a very bad position there. Nearly goes AI. 10% of pass number 2, excuse me. Smoker's looking to set up the first punch, but he can't quite do so. Hunter is shut down as well. Survivor's in a very good position here. Very, very good position indeed. Tank cannot land a single punch. Ends up landing a rock onto Zoe at least, but that's all he can do. That's literally all the tank is able to do there.
It's not looking good for me.
So all in all, very good gameplay by the boys. Unfortunate for the tank, of course, with the car getting stuck, or the truck. Charger and a jockey with a boomer spitter. So it's going to be that 2-2. Boomer tries to move in first, but is shut down in 0.4 seconds by Sue. Very well played. As a result, there is still 7 seconds on the death timer for the special infected here. It is going to be a tri-cat now, though, at least, which is going to be a jockey hunter charger with the spitter. Charger spawns up looking for the pin. Can't quite do so, though. That's going to be a chip skeet onto the hunter. And, well, jockey can't really make much happen, and neither can the spitter. Survivors continuing again with a reasonably favourable health bonus. Which, of course, is dependent on whether or not they can keep it. But if time has taught us anything in this game, they absolutely can. Boomer from behind the corner onto 3 survivors, though. That's a good start for the special infected. Hunter is moving in with the jockey. Hunter looks for the interception, can't quite get it, though. Smoker is looking for the separation pull onto Bill in the back there, which he does get. Followed by potentially an in-cap. It is indeed an in-cap. They will be reviving Bill here. That's his first incapacitation, so not quite black and white just yet. Boomer and a spitter with the charger and the hunter, so it ends up being a 2-2. Does appear that we have a pause coming out here with somebody getting stuck, I believe. But we shall be readying back up. There is a hunter and charger both spawned up, ready and waiting for when we eventually unpause here. Boomer gets a boom onto 1 survivor. Hunter is moving in, but ends up setting himself on fire and getting skeeted. That's going to be a charge spit combination onto Lewis. Definitely the right target to go for, and that's a lot of their health bonus eliminated there in that single attack. Which, I suppose has a contribution towards it, though, with them getting a little bit stuck. I'm not really sure what happened there. That was slightly unfortunate. Jockey, Smoker, Hunter, and, well, I was going to say Boomer, but he just went in there, tried to get a boom, but was unsuccessful. Let's just see what the 4th and final spawn ends up being here. Jockey, Smoker, and a Hunter with a Charger, so it ends up being a quad cap. This is a death charge opportunity here for the Charger, so let's just see what happens. Smoker first, Charger second. Can't quite make anything happen, though, the Charger, and, well, Smoker tried to set something up, but he couldn't quite do so. Then again, the damage has been fairly good from the Freethinkers, but damage isn't really enough here. They do definitely need to wipe them. They're at 84% of the map here as well, so they're not too far away from the safe room. Boom onto 2 survivors here. Little spiraling staircase is what they have to deal with. Jockey from behind looking to connect onto the survivors, does do so with the help of the Hunter. Jockey is still landed onto Francis in the back as well, so that's going to be a lot of damage onto Francis. He actually had the majority of their health bonus as well, so their health bonus just outside the safe room has been eliminated here. 89% of the map. That's going to be 2 incapacitations and no revivals just yet. Charger is, well, unfortunately going to be keeping that incap going. That'll be a dead stop on the jockey, followed by the shutdown. That will be the Smoker trying to make something happen here. Can't quite do so though, will end up losing his life there. Spitter's looking for the delay, that's 2 people in capped again, and Zoe is on the railing. Very nice positioning by Zoe there. Boomer shut down in 0.3 seconds by Discreet. Very well played. Just outside the safe room here, so now that their health bonus has been eliminated, all they can really hope for is distance points, and as many as possible. One person being black and white as well, that being Bill. So they won't be sending Bill up first. Lewis moves up first and foremost. He is pinned at the top there by the Hunter. The interceptions are enough to keep them off him for the time being. That will be eventually the Hunter killed, but... well, definitely not before some damage. That'll be Lewis revived, and the survivors are just outside the safe room here. And they are looking to block the spawns and get the revival before they shut the safe room door. Boomer from behind onto 2 survivors. That's going to be a nice Hunter at the door frame. Charger is waiting. Does end up getting the pin, followed by the death of Francis. Well played by the Charger to pin him outside there, but of course it doesn't matter too much because they had already achieved their health bonus and maximal distance points. Into the second half we go. Freethinkers on the survivor side and the Boyz in the Favela on the special infected side. As always, hopefully everybody is having a wonderful evening, morning, night, or afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. I certainly hope the viewer base will be as diverse as the player base here. That would be cool. Same setup as always. It's going to be the jockey, smoker, and charger with that spitter. The first special infected attack that you get is always going to be the same for both. One more player on the Freethinkers to go, and we shall be ready to go live. Definitely so far a dominant performance from the Boyz, as we say as well. 2,044 points in their names. 827 before this round, this half of this round begins, in the hands of the Freethinkers. Once again, apologies for the delays. Just need one more person to ready up, and we shall be going live here. And live we go. Let's see what the Freethinkers choose to do here in terms of their weaponry, which it does look like it will be a 50-50 again, so 2 Uzis and 2 shotguns. Sue is going to be playing the next tank here for the special infected, which is a little bit of pressure on him, to be honest, because he has to maintain this lead. Charger moves in, gets shut down very, very viciously, though. That's going to be the jockey trying to make something happen with the spitter, as well as the smoker, but not very much happens in the end. A favourable result for the Freethinkers as they continue to move forward here. Hunter jockey and a charger with a boomer. Boomer tries to get the bunny hops there, but he can't quite get them, really. It's definitely a difficult task. Because if you miss the first bunny hop, you've essentially missed all of them. So is unfortunate.
Reloading.
That will now either be a spitter or a smoker, though. It's either going to be a quad cap or a tri-cap, which ends up being a tri-cap with the spitter.
Reloading.
Charger moves in. That's going to be a nice dual cap. That's going to be a Hunt spit combination in the back as well. That's going to be double spit damage onto him. So very, very good damage overall from the Boyz. Inflicted onto the Freethinkers. Very well played indeed.
Reloading.
5 seconds on the clock for the special infected here. Going to be a charger and a smoker with the boomer and spitter. So a 2-2. Plenty of high ground advantage again for the special infected as well. That's definitely playing a huge part in the success of these special infected attacks. Smoker first, going to be looking to go for Bill there, but he's just simply getting rid of the spawn more so than anything else, it does look like.
I'm reloading.
That's going to be the tank spawning up in the hands of Sue. Charger, boomer, and a spitter is what the special infected have here. They will be looking to get rid of that spitter, because they don't really want a spitter in a tank fight. The only reason they're keeping it would be essentially to go with the charger, but they end up getting rid of it in the end. Boomer is also shut down. Hittable truck is moving in, definitely a lot faster for the Boyz as well. Sue looking for that big hit on the car. This will determine it, and it's travelling all the way for Bill there. Going to be incapacitating Bill and not quite rolling onto him. Lucky for him, but I mean, that sets up a huge chance for the tank here. He's moving in for the survivors. Nice double punch. Lots of separation. An in cap from the double punch as well. She slid up the wall there. That's going to be the tank moving in for the remaining survivors. Hunter is nicely skeeted. Jockey is going to be looking to connect after the tank punch. Charger is in the distance as well. Tank is looking for some more punches. He gets a punch onto Lewis. Very nicely done there. Charger is distracting Francis enough to land another punch there. That's going to be the tank on 2,150 HP, which is now declining. What a truck hit, though, by Sue. Very, very good truck hit. Smoker first, tank second. Curve rock is unsuccessful. Tank looks to set up the punch, which he does indeed do so. He is actually with the hittable car as well. Lands the punch onto Bill, will be shut down, but my goodness, the damage is unreal. They will be reviving Zoe here, but all in all, fantastic tank by Sue. You've got to give him credit, and you've also got to give the special infected credits as well, because they played their roles very well. Jockey, charger, and a spitter, followed by a hunter. So we have a tri-cap with the spitter here. That's going to be the jockey getting the in-cap onto Bill, which I believe is going to make him black and white. Yes, indeed it is. So Bill is black and white, and he has chosen to take the pain pills immediately. They have Lewis as well, who is 1 HP, so he is going to be in-capped pretty soon as well. Charger from behind the corner as well as the hunter. Hunter is so effortlessly skeeted though. 5 shots from the Uzi. That's going to be the charger and spitter hoping to make something happen here after the boomer lands into one survivor. Both of them on the ladder. Charger repositioning, looking to land here. Tries to go for Zoe, but he's a bit too separated between himself and the survivors. Spitter is still alive, ends up eventually getting killed by the by the survivors, excuse me. Smoke is going to be separating Zoe in the distance there. That's going to be her incapacitation. And it does look like they're going to have a few black and white players here. Yes, indeed they will. They'll have 2 people black and white, that being Zoe and Bill. Jockey, hunter, and a charger, as well as a boomer. Hunter is just pouncing around, creating some noise just to be a nuisance.
Oh god.
Charger spawns up, going for the survivors here. 16 damage pounce coming out onto Bill. Very well played. He is black and white as well, so that's put him closer to death here. Survivors on 1,214 points, which is going to continue climbing here as they continue to move forward. They still have plenty of grounds to cover, though. They're only at 67% of the map. Jockey, Smoker, Charger, and a Spitter. Let's see what the Special Infected can make happen with it. They have plenty of options. I mean, they can either go for the kill with Bill or Zoe, or they can go for the in-cap with Lewis. Depends on what they're feeling. Charger moves in, going to be landing onto Francis there. Can't quite get the damage he needs, and well, the Spitter actually does make up for that though. That's going to be every last bit of their health bonus that they could have possibly dreamed of being eliminated in that moment. They will be purposefully incapacitating their own teammate here, so they do have 3 people black and white. The only person not black and white is Francis, aka Sloppy. Boom first onto one survivor. Hunter looking for the DP, gets an 11 damage pounce, not too bad really. Jockey moves in second after Zoe, followed by the Charger third and foremost. Going to be getting the kill, as well as potentially nearly got another kill actually. If he landed onto Lewis there, he maybe would have. Nonetheless, that's going to be reducing their survivor count from 4 down to 3. Which now means that the amount of distance points they accumulate is going to be reduced. Spitter looks for the delay, does indeed get the delay as well. That's going to be Zoe separated, that's going to be a smoke in the back as well. Incapacitating Francis, that's the last in-cap they can be graced with. Boomer from behind. Getting a boom onto 2 survivors. Hunter is looking to get Zoe, of whom is separated, which he does indeed do so. Not looking for the survivors whatsoever here. There's no chance they can really make it past here. And that will be the end of their road to the safe room. 2,044 points in the hands of the Boyz. 1,331 points in the hands of the Freethinkers. So what are we looking at? We're looking at around about 113 points, give or take, separating these two teams. No, 700 and whatever I just said, excuse me. I'm rather tired. We shall be loading into the next chapter, which is going to be very much deciding the fate of this game. Looks like we're waiting on one more person to load in before we shall be going live, but everybody is pretty much ready. For anybody just tuning in, you're definitely pretty late, but welcome regardless. This is the United Nations tournament here in Left 4 Dead 2 on the custom campaign, The Undead Zone. Between the teams, the Boyz in the Favela versus the Freethinkers. The Boyz presently ahead by 713 points, which will now start climbing. Hunter first, Spitter second. That's going to be a spit onto Francis. With some damage to follow, Smoker is looking for some extra damage, but can't quite make it happen. All in all, good shutdowns by the survivors. They will be continuing to progress forward here. Jockey and a Charger, followed by a Hunter. And in 1 second, it will be a Spitter. So they have that tri-cap with the Spitter. Jockey, Charger, and Hunter all moving in unison, but they can't quite land anything really. Hunter is just about able to land, but they do end up blocking this bit. Not quite intentionally, but they do block it regardless. A fair bit of damage has been inflicted by the Freethinkers. Not the worst result in the world.
Reloading.
And we now have a Jockey, Charger, and a Smoker. Boomer moves in by proxy onto one survivor. This is going to be another spiraling staircase stroke point as well, so the survivors will have to be careful of this. Survivors at 30% of the map. Tank spawning around about 56% of it. It is going to be a quad cap in the hands of the special infected as well, which could really turn the tides here. So let's see what they can make happen with it. Survivor's going to be making their way forward here. Hunter is spawned up behind. Is going to be going for the wall kick. However, Jockey is shut down as well as the Hunter. Charger can't make anything happen off the back of the Smoker, and that is all she wrote. Very, very good clears by the Boyz here. Onwards and upwards they move, continuing to create more and more of a distance between themselves and their enemies with the points. Hunter and Jockey with the Spitter and Boomer. Spitter looks to just simply get rid of the spawn more so than anything else, which will be either a Smoker or a Charger. Tank is going to be spawning up for the special infected here. Hunter and a Jockey. They have to wait for the death timer before they get that third and final spawn, which is a Smoker. So Tank is already pretty close to the survivors, so you know he can move in straight away if he so chooses. Smoker first onto Zoe. That's going to be setting up the first punch onto her, actually. Tank is looking to pin Zoe in the corner, which he does indeed do so. That's going to be an incapacitation onto Zoe. Looking for some more punches. Can't quite land his other two punches. Nice jockey, though. Very good separation jockey onto Bill, of which is going to be chased down by Francis, who's looking to clear it as quick as he can. Does eventually end up doing so, but not before two other people are incapped. The curve rock is very, very good as well, landing onto Francis. Tank is looking to try to get some more punches here. Going to be looking for the curve rock, which he just barely misses. Unfortunately for him, he is killed just before it leaves his arms. Charger and Spitter, both of which moving in. That's going to be two people in cap. There's going to be one person pinned in the spit as well. That's the final remaining survivor, being Francis, of whom was boomed, not so much anymore. He has a Hunter and Smoker to deal with, though. Hunter and Smoker both moving in. Hunter is just going to be landing onto one of the in-cap survivors. Smoker's looking for the delay, but he doesn't actually end up getting it in the end.
How you doing?
Most of this blood ain't mine.
Nobody black and white just yet. Nice dead stop on the Boomer as well. That's going to be a good shutdown on the Boomer from the Boyz. Jockey not much to speak of as well.
I can handle this.
Weapons over here.
So Charger and Spitter so far, followed by a Hunter, and in one more second it's going to be completed with a Smoker.
Guys, I'm really torn up.
The Boyz definitely not in a favourable health bonus position here. That's going to be Charger moving in after the Hunter and the Smoker, but not really much can happen. As I say, nobody black and white just yet. Everybody has suffered a total of one in-cap after this purposeful one.
Come on, up and at him.
Get up. We ain't got time for this.
This is really bad.
Thanks, man. Sure thing. Everything hurts.
A little bit of an elevator break here. for the survivors as they move up. However, the pressure continues immediately after they exit this close quarters area. Boomer is pre-spawned in front of them, above them as well. Gets the boom onto two of 4 of the survivors. They move back inside just to deal with the common infected. Charger moves in with the smoker. Can't quite make anything happen though, nicely shut down by the survivors. 3 people boomed, however not really much else has happened. All in all, good clears, and considering they can all afford to go down one more time, they're in a favourable position to keep achieving distance points here, as long as of course their clears allow for it. Such a precarious area though. That's going to be Lewis pulled to his death there. Unfortunately, if you jump and get pulled at the same time, you can sometimes get clipped through the air, and that's exactly what we saw there. That's going to be the Hunter moving in, trying to get an in-cap. Can't quite do so. Charger is looking to seal the deal with the in-cap, but again, he also cannot do so. But yeah, all in all, that is a death smoke, which wasn't planned by the survivors. It's just he was pulled as he jumped, so an unfortunate reality for him. Boomer Spitter with Jockey and Smoker. That's a very nice stumble from the Boomer there. Made their lives pretty chaotic. That's going to be 2 people in-capped by the Jockey. He's looking to be more of a nuisance. That's going to be the Smoker pulling Bill, and that will be the in-cap and the end of the road for the survivors there. 2,632 points versus the trailing, but still not yet lost, Freethinkers at 1,331 points. This is going to be a very decisive case here on the victory, so let's just see how this ends up unfolding. If many people have been speaking to me this game, by the way, I'd just like to apologize for not really checking it as much as I usually do. It's mostly because I've played this map before, but I'm slightly I would say I'm slightly more unfamiliar with it compared to the other maps, so that means it takes up a bit more of my focus just to make sure that I get everything right on the map layout. Nonetheless, same setup of course in the beginning, which is going to be a Smoker and Hunter with the Boomer and Spitter. Smoker spawns up, going to be looking for the dual cap with the Hunter. He does get it. That's going to be a stumble in the spit as well, which is going to be a fair bit of damage and, well, fairly evenly spread. Survivors making their way out of the safe room. And it is onwards and upwards for them. Let's just see how far they can end up getting, though. Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey with the Boomer. Everybody going to be spawning up and moving in here. Hunter first. Hunter gets a very, very nice connection, followed by the Charger. So the damage is spreading across the board, but that's really the best they can hope for, especially with the way the attack went. But, you know, definitely good damage by the boys. Nothing to ignore whatsoever. Survivors at 25% of the map, so that's a quarter of the map traversed here.
Reloading.
It is going to pretty much come down to how they can fight the tank, though. I would say that's going to be the main decisive factor here. And Caution will be playing this tank as well, which is going to be a fair bit of pressure for him, really. If you thought Sue had pressure last round, well, Caution has even more. Hunter is crouching around, going to be looking to move in for them. That's going to be a Jockey landing, followed by an interception spit and a stumble in the spit. They're taking so much damage here. Survivors being absolutely ripped to shreds by that spitter damage. That is crucial. That is phenomenal. That is really wicked damage from the special infected. That's going to be at least 2 sets of pain pills consumed here, I'm imagining. Unless they're going to be waiting for the incapacitation here. But all in all, that was a phenomenal attack by the boys in the favela there. Charger from behind, looking for the connection. Gets the connection, followed by the spitter onto Francis. That's going to be a pull into the spit as well. Onto Bill. Can't quite get the in-cap. That is going to be the in-cap onto Francis, though. And, well, Tank is spawned up and is going to be going in for the survivors straight away. Not looking good for the survivors in any case here, because they already have one in-cap. Tank is in their face. This Caution Tank looking to secure the deal here. Going to be punching Lewis several times, followed by his incapacitation. That's going to be Bill rushing ahead there. That's a 9-shot skeet coming out of one of the Uzis. Tank can't quite close the distance between him and Zoe. Charger teams up with the Tank onto Bill, which will be his in-cap. Tank looking to secure the deal with the Charger. Going to be looking to go for Zoe here. Zoe, the last remaining survivor. 2,600 HP in the hands of the Tank. He's moving in for Zoe. The last remaining in-cap. That's going to be a boom onto one survivor. He's going to be surrounded and his life is at risk at the moment. Curve rock round the corner. Actually, very, very well played there. That's going to be well played by the boomer, especially getting a boom onto 2 of the in-cap survivors. Zoe really can't do anything about this. She really can't revive anybody, and that's going to be the death of Francis as a result. That's going to be Zoe pinned in the corner here. That's going to be 2 punches onto her. That's going to be the Hunter finishing off Bill. Jockey is going to land onto Zoe as well. So all in all, a very, very favourable tank fight for the boys in the favela. As we can see, 2,632 points in the hands of the boys. 1,687 points in the hands of the Freethinkers, which I would say puts the boys in a favourable position again, but is it favourable enough? We shall see. Now this is where things start to get pretty intense though, because this is getting quite late into the game now, and this is of course going to put the tank fights at a very, very crucial position here. All in all though, Caution definitely did what he needed to do there, and that was wipe the survivors. So that has awarded them roughly around about 1,000 points, give or take, separating these two teams. It's more likely around the mid-900s range. And we shall be going live here as the survivors look to clear some common infected. Jockey first, can't quite get the separation he wants though. It's going to be Tank spawning up immediately, and Jockey is going to be following his demise. That's going to be the Charger landing for a brief period, and we'll be having himself shut down as well. Rock travels in for the survivors, but can't quite land. Continuing to throw some rocks from the high ground, which again is definitely a theme in the Undead Zone here, in this custom campaign, the high ground. Anakin Skywalker would not like this map. Smoker from behind, as well as a 16 damage pounce, as well as a rock potentially. Very nice rock skeet by Caution there. Very well played by Lewis, aka Caution, to get that rock skeet. Boom onto one survivor, however. They are continuing to play this long. The survivors, well, I mean, they're pretty exposed to the tank, honestly. Breaking line of sight is not an easy thing to do here. They are dealing with the rocks, though, and they have not yet taken a rock, so Tank on pass number 1, 75% of it. Continuing his reign of terror, that's going to be Smoker looking to set up a rock, but he's unable to do so. Charger and Smoker both moving in after the jockey, but again, these rocks are so effortlessly dealt with, and they have chosen now to completely eliminate the line of sight, which they do so for a brief period. That reduces the tank down to 35% of pass number 1. Still not down to pass number 2 though, so let's just see whether he continues to play long here. Jockey and Hunter both moving in, looking like he is going to, but again, dealing with these rocks very well is the Boyz. They might be looking to break line of sight again here. Tank on 25% of pass number 1. Boomer from the safe room, nicely done actually, getting a boom onto 1 survivor. Tank is beginning to position a little bit more risky now because he wants to keep that line of sight, and he's affording the damage that he takes in order to do so. Smoker and a Charger both moving in, however the survivors are all facing the rock when it's coming in, so no chance of that landing. Charger and Smoker both moving in. Tank is unable to land any rocks. That's going to be the Charger unfortunately missing. Nice Hunter, followed by Rock, but again, so well skeeted, this time by Ozzy, aka Bill. Very well played with these rock skeets. The Boyz really pulling that out of the bag. So he's taken, yeah, as mentioned, he's taken over 1,000 damage now, which is, whether or not that's worth it, is indeed questionable. Boomer, Jockey, and Smoker. Let's see whether they choose to continue to play long or if they choose to abandon it. They are choosing to abandon it. Tank misses the first punch onto Francis, going to be looking for him. Misses the punch though. That's going to be a boom onto 1 survivor. That's going to be a separation Jockey in the safe room, and that's going to be the Tank moving in for some more punches. Does get another punch onto Zoe, followed by another. Could be maybe even an in-cap. Isn't quite an in-cap. Very well played by the survivors, I have to say though. Even though they took a fair bit of damage, they definitely played that pretty well. No in-caps suffered whatsoever, so their health bonus is looking very healthy right now. Hunter, Smoker, and a Charger, followed by a Spitter. Survivors, of course, being as patient as they can be. Charger moves in for the survivors. That's going to be a stumble onto Bill. Hunter is looking to pin Bill in the spit there, but he's unable to do so. He is on the railing and therefore will be cleared by his team very, very easily. Another good result for the Boyz as they incapacitate Zoe on purpose.
Thanks.
Sure.
I think I hurt something bad.
Survivor's going to be jumping down from the balcony there, and will be reuniting here around the forklift. That's going to be Charger moving in for the survivors. Nice separation, Jockey. However, the Boomer stumble does free him, and well, not much can happen from the Charger or Smoker. Definitely a very good health bonus in the hands of the Boyz in the Favela, if they of course end up making it, because, you know, that is interesting. Spitter, Hunter, Charger, and a Boomer. Hunter is crouching around, just creating some noise here. Charger is spawning up as well, going to be moving in. Can't make the connection though. Hunter moves in, so nicely shut down by the survivors. 2 people are boomed, however, that's not going to really amount to very much. The entire attack is cleared, and the survivors have more ground to cover here. 65% of the map. And if they continue to clear like this, then they are looking at a pretty good health bonus, as I say. So let's just see what happens. We have a pause coming out, though. Just going to be waiting for the time being. It does appear that the boys need to configure some things. If I was the Freethinkers, though, I'd definitely be feeling quite pressured here, especially considering how crucial the tank fights are. It can really throw you off a little bit because it can have such a high importance that you end up not playing as well. Smoker from behind. Can't quite get the separation he's looking for. It's going to be the Smoker shut down there. "12 seconds in total. They do have a boomer to work with, the Freethinkers. Let's see how that ends up playing out for them. Boomer actually goes first onto one survivor. That's a decent result. Let's see if they end up committing the tank with it. Tank does indeed commit, looking for the first punch. Looking for Francis, does end up pinning him actually in the corner. Very good result so far for the Freethinkers. Let's just see how much more comes out of it, though. Tank is looking to close the distance. That's going to be a very nice charger, followed by an underhand rock onto her. That's going to be a punch-rock combination, and a very nice separation jockey as well. Could even be potentially a wipe here. Misses one punch onto Lewis, excuse me. Could be an in-cap here if he doesn't die, and he doesn't die, so that's going to be the wipe of the survivors here. 352 points achieved, but of course, you know, they had 2 tank fights there in total, this being a finale, so all in all, not really the worst result in the world, considering how many tanks they have to fight. It is now up to the Freethinkers to essentially, well, if they want to make the comeback, they have to maintain their health bonus. But considering how many tanks they have to make it past, that it is questionable as to whether or not they can manage. But of course, we are going to see if they can indeed manage. Jockey, Charger, and Smoker. That's going to be the Smoker moving in just simply because he's becoming the tank. Spitter moves in to get rid of the spawn, which is successful. Tank repositioning, that's going to be in the hands of Sue, and we did see what he was capable of the last couple rounds ago with that truck hittable. Very well played by him. Going to be choosing to play long for the time being. Rock onto Zoe is successful, so I mean, well, there you have it. He can pretty much continue to play long from here on out because he landed that first rock. Definitely favourable to have distracted Zoe in that moment there. Line of sight is somewhat broken. He's down to 60% of pass number 1. However, there's not really much pressure on him to move in just yet. He has taken about 800 damage though. Smoker first, and well, a nice separation hunter, 5 damage pounce onto Francis. Rock travelling for Francis, which will be skeeted again, so this time they don't end up eating a rock. However, the remainder of them will be skeeted here. Boomer shutdown, very well played by the survivors. Tank is going to be moving in for the survivors, lands the first punch onto Zoe, going to be looking to land a rock here, which he does indeed do so. Very nicely played by the rock of Sue there. Curve rock out of the door frame, can't quite land onto Zoe. Not Zoe, excuse me, Bill. Hunter, Jockey, and a Charger. Hunter is moving in. Nice bunny hops from the Charger. That's going to be a separation charger. Tank is looking for the interception. Can't quite get it. That will be a clear on the charger, and the tank is in the middle of everybody. Not much he can do here, apart from land a rock onto Francis. That's a very good result. But unfortunately, again, it maybe is a more favourable tank fight for the survivors. Regardless, the survivors are actually in a reasonable position here. But let's just see if they can continue that, of course. Because they are looking for a health bonus here if they want to make the comeback. That is what they have to do. Boomer first is shut down in 0.3 seconds by the Freethinkers here. Very well played. Hunter tries the wall kick, can't quite get it. Smoker is unable to make much happen. Hunter is shut down in the doorway there.
I'm guessing my team is dead. We have a helicopter prepped and ready to go. We are reading a large
Of course, they do shortly have another tank to contend with, so let's just see how that works in their favour. Smoker, Charger, and a Jockey will be the tri-cap with the Boomer. Boomer from behind, in front, excuse me, onto one survivor. Jockey looking for the separation. Hunter tries to, Charger, excuse me, tries to land something, can't quite do so, other than a scratch. Survivors at 50% off the map, and as I say, you know, slowly but surely they will have to be fighting a tank. Spitter and Boomer, followed by Jockey and Hunter. Let's just see how the 2-2 ends up playing out. Boomer onto one survivor. Hunter is going for the DP here, but he is so effortlessly shut down by the Freethinkers. Survivor's doing a good job so far, but let's just see, of course, how long that can keep up for. Going to be a tri-cap in the hands of the Special Infected. That's going to be a Smoker, Charger, Jockey tri-cap with the Boomer. Smoker first from the window frame. Charger second. Can't quite land a charge though. Boomer is going to get a boom onto two survivors after the distraction from the remainder of his team. That's going to be the tank spawning up and potentially moving in immediately. It doesn't look like he is going to. Mostly because he wasn't really able to. But he is indeed going to be moving in for the survivors here, getting Zoe first and foremost with the first punch, looking to secure the deal on her. He is unable to get out the window frame that smoothly. However, Zoe has no pain pills, so she will be going down to the tank here. That's the first incapacitation. That's not good for the Freethinkers here. There's going to be a Charger looking for Bill, but he can't land the connection. Hunter is having a hard time with it. That's going to be an incap onto Francis though. Separation Hunter as well, followed by the tank. The tank can't quite get the interception, and he's looking in a reasonable position. I mean, he's on about 50% HP. He's getting the incap onto Lewis as well, who is on the rooftop there. And the fourth and final spawn survivor, being Bill. He is going to be cornered by the tank. He also has a Boomer helping him out on the incap survivor. That's going to be Charger moving in, can't quite land the pin. That's going to be a rock from the high ground, which is going to land onto Bill, followed by the last remaining punch, which will secure the deal and the victory for the Boyz in the Favela, winning at 2,900